many of you have ever had to approach or treat a difficult donkey? Hey, see, this talk, we got some buy-in. You know, like enrichment, you're like, yeah, it's not even on the scale. Now you're thinking, hey, I need to know some of this stuff. I like that. Okay, that's cool. That'll work. First questions. What problems do you currently have? You know, give me some examples of the difficult donkeys you either have to treat or have had to treat. What have we got? Fearful donkeys. Okay. That pretty much covers it then. There's not much else. Feral donkeys who are fearful. Yeah. Sorry?
The standoffish donkey is also fearful.
The standoffish donkey, that's fearful. Yep.
Donkeys that have been roped.
And are fearful. Yep. The young ones that don't know anything at all and are fearful.
Owners who expect you, the veterinarian, to be the trainer too.
Idiots. You know, I do have a golden rule, and I totally sympathize with it. You know, it is never the job of the veterinarian, the farrier, the trimmer, the dentist to train anybody's animal to do anything. And I think there's a sad state of affairs where people don't train their animal because you, professionals, you actually go there and try and help. You try and do it. You try and get it done. And you try and make a difference. And of course, you're bound to do that. And that's not a criticism of you at all. But it gives owners a get out. See, if every professional turned up and went, no, sorry, can't treat him, it's too dangerous. Wouldn't be long before people started to have to either not have animals or they'd start to actually train them so they could be handled. But of course, they don't need to because you guys are going to get it done. It's a strange situation. I talk about some work with trimmers, equine podiatrists in the UK, and they have part of their sessions. Farriers never have this, but the equine podiatrists insist that all of their trimmers have at least 3 days of behavioural training. And the problem is by the time someone generally gets to have an equine podiatrist, that every farrier in the area has refused to trim or handle their horse. But these guys are so keen to help the horse, they'll hang on for hours and they'll work with it and try and get it done. And of course, as an owner, I don't need to do anything because somebody else will do it for me. And you know what, although I call them idiots and that was really harsh of me, what I really meant was they're fearful too. A lot of owners are fearful of their animals. And they're fearful they don't know how to get it fixed. They don't have a written shaping plan. They don't know the experience. So they're just like, let's leave it alone. Let's not fix it. Any other problems? So we pretty much got it's come down to fear. Okay? Well, that'll save the next question then. Along with the fact that people don't train their animals properly to actually experience these interactions that you're trying to give them, do they? Okay. Any other reasons that you have these kind of problems?
Due to stupidity of other people, a lot of the rescues we get in are pretty messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, you could use that term. I was thinking about naivety or about just maybe lack of knowledge or people sometimes just get in too deep and then they don't know how to get out of it. And so they do stuff and you think it's crazy. But, you know, yeah, there's some difficult stuff in there. Whoa, lost the thing. Okay. This is your opportunity to tell me what questions you have. You know, what do you want to know about handling a difficult donkey? Whatever you program your brain to look for is what it will see evidence of. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means if you think donkeys are stubborn, naughty, difficult, awkward little gits, then you are probably going to see evidence to support that theory. If you think they are beautiful, calm, lovely creatures who could do no harm, then you are probably going to see evidence to support that theory. And you can see that, people, you know, yeah, he kicked me, but he didn't mean it. Same donkey kicked someone else, and they're like, what a beep. Not a very nice donkey. Because then, and he's stubborn and he's difficult and he's the same animal, same behavior. We're going to label it 2 completely different ways. And that's the problem we get into from the start. I see that a lot. You know, people go, it's the donkey, he's going to be a git. Can't pick up his feet, donkeys aren't trained. And immediately you got that body language of this. Donkey's seen that before. So you got into a problem. You know, whatever you put in up here is going to come through your body language. It's really hard not to come to the situation with the perception of the last case or the last time or your general theory of owners, you know? Because the same thing happens to owners. You, as a veterinarian, you met 100 people, all of who haven't prepared. It's easy to think this community or this owner or this type of owner, they will do the same thing. And of course then we treat them in a particular way. And we don't even realize it because we didn't even see a moonwalking bear. It's 4.5 feet high. You missed it. Then we miss the try, we miss the observation of these things, and it becomes crucial to our ability to handle the donkey. So we've got a couple of options. Maybe not a good outcome, but you'll get it done. And I think a lot of times, you know, this is where people end up going. I'm not suggesting you do, but it is that kind of right. Let's get them. In the donkey sanctuary, we have a mule farm, and a lot of the mules that come into us obviously are not well handled or handled at all. So I designed and created a squeeze chute, which is completely padded, and we can train them to it, even the ones that are unhandled, and they come in and they're trained, completely immobilized. We can then open the side door and put in a sedation, and we can do what we need to do to them. Now I get it, you don't have that. Maybe you should if you have hundreds of animals that are coming in that way. And we're happy to share the plans for that, and we're still working on those sorts of things. But in general, this is the route people kind of go down. And I want to give you maybe, because it's such a physical process. It's outcome driven. I just want to get to the end, I want to get it done, I want to step back and go, we're all still alive. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Was it nice?
No, but I do it all summer long, every summer.
You do? Yep. And it's tough, you know, it's tough, I think, to have to get into those fights. And I don't know if it's the same here, but in the UK, you know, they did a study, and veterinary profession is one of the most dangerous professions, especially when you're working with equines, because you're going to get injured because of the situations we get into. And that's because it becomes a very physical process. So I figure maybe we're asking the wrong question. You know, not how do we approach and treat the difficult donkey, is that a different question?
Yeah.
Well, see, think about the moonwalking bear, okay? If I'm asking this question, what am I looking for? And sure, you want to be safe, and you want to get that donkey treated, and it's process driven. If I want to work with a donkey and think about what's going to happen next time, then we begin to change how we see and put into our brain our reticular activating system. Now, to do that, we need to understand a little bit of the science of behaviour. And I'm more than happy, any of you coming down to the barn tomorrow to see the BLM donkeys, to go into these in greater detail. But this is a whole day's training just on its own. I'm going to show you a video of a donkey that is ferocious, and how we put some of this stuff in. But understanding how we use positive reinforcement, how we use negative reinforcement, the cessation of a negative stimulus, how we shape behavior, systematic desensitization, and how we stretch comfort zones is absolutely crucial. Now I'm guessing in your veterinarian training you've had all that experience, yeah? They've taught you all about that. No? Wow. See, I'll have that in week 1 if I was running veterinary training, because it's so crucial to what we do. So crucial to being able to get that. And I think there's some of the students that have been working with the BLM burrows haven't had that week's experience of what we've been doing. There's some nodding going on that's kind of quite important to understand the timing and to understand the negative reinforcement and the shaping and all the things that we've been doing all week, because it becomes the foundation of everything you're going to do when you handle an animal. Your timing is your communication. Knowing when to wait, knowing when to go. But I think there's a problem. There's a problem with all of this, Ben, because everywhere I go in the world, this is what I get told. I don't have time. You know, you're on a schedule. You've got other animals to treat, you've got to get done. Maybe you've only got a 10-minute, let's not donkeys, this is if you're in practice and you're doing cats and dogs, I don't know. Maybe you've only got a 10-minute, you know, appointment time. Got to get it done, don't have time. It's a lot of pressure. The owner stood there going, waiting for you to solve the problem. So how do we get over time? Well, it's kind of interesting because hopefully in this little video here, and I don't know what happened to the whole sound thing. I'm just hoping this is going to play. I really wish the sound was playing because this is true Mexico here. It was at the bottom of the volcano. Popocatépetl, this little donkey now, this little mule here. Normally what would happen now, the donkey would be sort of got close to and then we grab his ear and we twist him and then we can worm him. But Ricardo, who's the vet student, we've been doing 3 or 4 days training here, and so he's going to just do a few things. He's going to do a little bit of shaping, he's going to try and use a little bit of positive reinforcement, and he's just going to slowly kind of see what he can do here to get this donkey wormed. Because people always say to me, Ben, yeah, that's great stuff, but in the real world, it doesn't really work. You know, this is the bottom of a smoking volcano in the middle of chaos. It does that much. So Ricardo does a little bit of work and he gives him a little scratch and he shapes the behaviour and then he manages to do this. How long do you think it takes Ricardo to get from what you just saw to this point here? How long? 7 minutes. Higher or lower? How long? Took him 2.5 minutes. And then I said, can you go back and just have a look in his mouth? So he went back and had a look in his mouth. Do you get that if you've just twisted that donkey's ear, that mule's ear? Can you do that? 2.5 minutes. Yeah, I don't get time. Okay. Yeah, Ben, but he got lucky. You know, they're not all that easy. Okay. Let's have a look at this fella here. This is a donkey in Ethiopia. Donkey takes 3 people to hold down. He's never had a head collar on in his life because they don't use head collars in Ethiopia because they're culturally blind to that sort of thing. So I've put a head collar on him. And you can see he's pretty resistant to being touched. He's got some scars and wounds and difficult things on his body. He's pretty agitated by the whole experience. What are you laughing at? This is serious stuff. Jeez, I could get killed here. You know, the interesting thing, I'm going to start work, I'm going to start doing a little bit with him here, I'm going to ask some questions. See, like he's going, well, that kicking doesn't work, oh, maybe I'll bite you instead. There's a head threat there, okay. Now this donkey has no appreciation of being scratched. He's never had that positiveness in his life. It doesn't mean anything at this moment, but I'm just shaping the behavior. You notice I'm not creeping. I'm just pause this for a minute, because you know you've seen me talk about this maybe yesterday if you were here. What happens is people, they do that creeping thing. How far can I go? Boundary kicks! Do not creep. It's just a plague. You know? What's interesting when you work with behaviour is what you'll see here is people gather to see if you're going to get kicked in the head. Because I get kicked in the head, you know what? This is a donkey problem. Can you see how I'm just shaping this behaviour? I'm not going to where he kicks, I'm rewarding it before he kicks. Now if you were training at home, if you've got your donkey in a sanctuary in a charity, you'd stop here and go, that's enough, because otherwise this is going to happen. He's going to go, okay, you're not listening, I'm going to have to kick. What was really interesting for them was the fact that he's like, this poor donkey is suffering and you're laughing at him. You wouldn't have been laughing if you'd been holding the lead rope. I think I offered them all a chance to work with him, but they didn't want to take that. But you notice those 3 feet were all stationary. He wasn't trying to kick me, he was just trying to communicate. And there's all those people that wait to see if I get kicked in the head. Because if I get kicked in the head, it's a donkey problem. See, he told you, bad donkey. If I don't get kicked in the head, it's a people problem. So, I want to shape the behaviour. And again, like if we were training at home, you would be finished there, that's the end of the session. But we're here trying to get the job done. Now this is where you've got to understand in the science of behaviour, behaviour is going to get bigger or worse before it changes. This donkey knows kicking works because every human that's interacted with him has moved away. So when it doesn't work, he doesn't just give up and go, oh, that doesn't work. He's going to go, vending machine syndrome, let me kick harder. Let me kick a bit longer. Because clearly this 2 legs does not listen. Now my timing, I've got to work through that and wait for him to stand still. When he stood still, then I'm going to take the pressure off. Not instantly, I give him a little bit. And that time he stood still, I took the pressure off before he did it.
See, nothing has changed in my body language.
You don't want to know. I think it's a pity that the sound is not on here. You would have heard me. Now, I just explaining that, you know, he's that stopping early and going home and doing all that. Okay, so we're starting. Now, and again, I don't want to necessarily hold on to his leg, but you can get a sense that he's not kicking as ferociously. Okay. Now again, these are sessions, if you were doing the training for the students that have been with me, you know, these are points where you can see we're putting together everything we would have done in a very short session into what we'd have done over a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know. Now this bit here, okay, this is called trust. I've worked with him long enough now to recognize he's not going to kick me in the head and the line's gone slack. You want to be careful with that stuff. That could be dangerous. Look at this guy over here. He's looking. This is Chris, our harness maker. He's looking at his watch. How long do you think it took this donkey to get to this point? I've edited the video a little bit here, so give me a time scale. How long do you think it took him to figure out what to do? An hour, 20 minutes, 50 minutes. Shout out, how many? 15. Wow. Gee, now he's eating. Longer than that. Hour and a half? An hour? Wow. Okay. Those are my magic gloves, sir. Now, I am not telling you that to tell you anything about me. I am telling you that to tell you how quick a donkey can learn.
Smile.
Now here's the vet. Does there's anything about testifies body language here, a vet, look particularly relaxed?
Pick it up. Now pick it up and do some work.
And he does. It took the donkey 10 minutes. Well, actually, it took Testify, the vet, 10 minutes. Now what? Here's a vet thing. This is what you're going to do. I've got the foot up. I'm going to do something.
Thumb Testify along.
I'm like, put it down, put it down. No, I've got it. I can do something.
Again, if your thumb is across
The
the back
donkey
of the
didn't need
leg.
10 minutes, but Testify did, so that's fine.
Wow. Okay. The vet can do it.
Now here's the owner. Now we've got the vet teaching the owner. Took the owner 8 minutes to pick up the feet. Not because the donkey needed 8 minutes, but because the owner did. Because the owner wanted to go straight to the back feet to pick him up just to see if he'd kick. You have to control the owner and make him go through the same process. And you know what? Forget all the other stuff about but the owner and the vet. The thing that happens is I do that and people go, hang on, I'll let you read that first. Yeah. People say to me, you know, we did that, and they said to me, literally, there we are, we've just done it, 5.5 minutes, which I think is pretty impressive. And you know what they said? We don't have time. No. We got 100 donkeys to see today. I'm like, hang on a minute. First of all, you don't get 100 donkeys like him. And secondly, how long would you have spent wrestling with him, fighting with him? How much danger would you have been? How much of a problem would there have been? And what would he have done next time? I spent 5.5 minutes up front, but you just spent 15, 20 minutes in the back end. And the next time it would have taken longer. So this becomes about that moonwalking bear thing, about what am I trying to do? What's the right question? So, I'm going to share with you a little bit of a video here of Frank J. Eyre. And they said, Frank J. Eyre's got a lump on his leg. It kind of was there for a second, so I'm hoping it's going to just do something and come back. Here we are. Okay. So, they said we've got a lump on his leg, but he kicks so ferociously, we cannot examine it. And we are thinking this may be terminal for him, because we think it's a sarcoid. And if we can't examine and take a sample, we're going to have to put him to sleep. Can you do anything? Okay, I don't know. Let's have a look. This is a lovely groom called Jen. This is Frank J. Eyre having his inhaler. She just walked straight up to him to give him his inhaler. I want you to notice that, okay? He's in a barn of all these donkeys. It's one of our barns. Okay, now, this big fella here with the lead rope, what happens to Frank J. Eyre now? Here he is right in the middle. Okay, there's him. I'm pretending I'm not going straight for him. He's like, yeah, the minute you change your mind now, mate, I'm off. Okay, and again, you know what happens here? People start getting out of patience and we're about 30 seconds into what we're actually doing. And it's not easy in a big group of donkeys to be doing this, but we're just going to work with him, and he's got a lot to say about himself. And what's interesting, he's going to do a thing that donkeys kind of tend to do here, is he's actually going to go and put his head in the corner. I don't want to double clip on anything, stop it. And he's learned that if you go to the corner, people, they do the chicken dance thing where they get behind him and they kind of go like this, and then they wait for the moment, and he's just gone, okay, well that's fine, I'll stand in the corner. So he's conditioned that once you stand in the corner, you're kind of trapped, although he's not at all. So we get him, we get the head collar on, okay. We're going to give him a scratch. Does he look happy? There's all the other donkeys. Hey, look, you can catch me. Now here's the problem. Well, I've got to work with this foot down here, this off hind, there's a lump down here on his leg. The first thing people do when they've got the donkey is they're going to go to the problem. I've got to treat it. I've got to go there. I'm going straight there. But I'm not going to go to the problem. You never want to start with a problem. Because we just chased him around the barn, his energy's up, his adrenaline's up, he's at his threshold already, and I'm going to try and scare the shit out of him by picking his leg up? Why would I do that? You know, and this confuses the hell out of owners, because it's like, I thought you come to treat the leg. What are you grooming my donkey for? Because I want him to trust me, and I need to read his behaviour before I go and put my head anywhere it's going to get kicked. Now remember, this donkey is ferocious. The vets cannot examine his leg. And again, if you were training, you're going home now. That's a fantastic opportunity, brilliant. But we're going to get the job done. So we're going to accelerate this. I'm shaping the behaviour. Do you see how tiny that was? Oh yeah, okay, I can see what's coming. A little bit of positive reinforcement. The scratches here, I cannot overemphasize the importance of positive reinforcement, especially those scratches in the withers. They will lower the heart rate, they will help calm the animal. Yeah, there's a lot of opinions going on in these. Hey, you want to do it this way, big fella? Do you want to do it to me? Okay, so we picked up the foot. You notice I'm still not going for that lump. That's a hard thing to resist because you've got the foot up. Let me have a look at the lump. We're 3 minutes, 24 seconds into the treatment. Okay, 3 minutes 15. I took out the bit about Jen doing the inhaler. Now, because I've read all this, now I've got some information about that foot. I know I can pick it up. Now I'm going to pick it up because he's used to that. We've got that neural pathway. I'm going to have a little look. But you notice I haven't stuck my finger straight into the wound to see if it's there. I'm still shaping behaviour. I'm just moving that leg around. I'm having a little look. I'm just finding out where the comfort zones are. And then I'm going to put it down. Oh, I'm going to use some food rewards. I want to give him a nice bit of counter conditioning. And then I'm going to go pick up the other leg as well. And we're going to work in this way. This is just about shaping behaviour. It's just about being able to... I'm going to pick up his foot the way around the back, because that's what the farrier and the vet's going to do. I want to know, is that the problem? Is it just the way that you're picking up the foot? No? Okay, that's fine. Let's have a look. Now, we're all the way into this. 4 minutes and 6 seconds. My God, all that time has passed before I've actually tried to touch the lump. Yeah, no, I really appreciate. Yep, he's telling me what to do in the ear. Like, just, I think that's a sarcoid. Yeah, I think he's doomed. You know, I think we should just put him to sleep now, boss. Okay, cool. I'm going to even. This is unusual. I want to take my glove off. There must be something terrifying happening now. Does this donkey look terrified at this point? Are we getting there? Let's scare him now. Let's get some hippie scrub out. Let's get some stinky stuff. Well, let's just give him another reward because it seems like a good idea. Look at that. You see the discipline not to go straight for the back foot even though I've got the cotton wool in my hand? the gauze. Obviously we wouldn't use cotton wool, that would be crazy. There's the trust. Look, I dropped the rope on the line. Don't do that, health and safety, it's very dangerous. You know, and again, like you say, if you're training, if you're just doing that, fine, okay? But I'm actually trying to get this donkey ready for the vet. We've got to come and chop a bit off his leg. I'm still shaping the behaviour. There's another advisor coming on. It's nothing like working with a bunch of know-it-alls. Now I'm really trying to push it now. Look, come on, kick me! No, it's not there. That's my preparation, you know, and that's what you said, sir, you know, that's what every owner should be doing for you. I wish I could turn the sound up here for you. Okay, so we changed the environment a little bit. That was my bit of work with them, and then we said, okay, well, let's get the vet involved here. So let's take all the other donkeys out of the environment because that makes it a little bit safer. He's like, oh shit, this is bad. There's only the two of us. There's his buddy. Look what he's going to do. You can tell where he's heading for. Shall I stand over here? Okay, good idea. What did I think about? Again, we're shaping the behaviour, you know. Don't get suckered into just going straight to get it done. You've got to look like you're just taking all the time in the world. All of this is about keeping you safe. You're shaping the behaviour. You're allowing this animal to begin to tell you, where am I at with this? Is this a good day? Is this a bad day? Is this going to be treacherous? Do I need to change the plan completely? Is this mildly upsetting? Look at that. You can even charge the owner for grooming his donkey. An additional touch-up and groom. Does my body language look like I'm about to handle the donkey's foot that might kick me in the head? Got to be good at faking it. You've got to be able to relax. If you're not relaxed, if you're so focused on that foot, you're going to get into trouble. Because the donkey will pick up on that. And he's not capable of understanding that that he is the cause of your concern. So what he sees when you're looking all direction, I've got to get this done, is there's something around here I should be really worried about. And then you look at him and go, hey, come on. And he goes, what? I can't see it. What is it? And you go, hey, stand up, someone done. And you just look like you're terrified. Do you see how we're going back through the stuff we did on the last 6 minutes and 3 seconds? We're just doing it a lot quicker. Giving him the food reward. A whole 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. I don't have time for this, you know. We're still using the positive reinforcement. Now, if you are in a situation where you're the veterinarian, you're going to have to treat the animal and you don't have someone to just handily come along and do this for you, then you need to be going through this process. This is your part of the treatment to be able to do this. So he's just a bit slower to take that treat, that reward that time. We're just shaping the behaviour, rewarding the positive, systematic desensitization, counter-conditioning. And in truth, as someone who's working with behaviour, I'm reassuring the vet who's watching this. Because I don't need them to come on and be all nervous. 4 minutes, 30 seconds. And we're very lucky in this situation. We've got a vet here called Joe who is really very calm. But it really helps, I think, you know, for those of you who are owners in a situation, show your veterinarian what you've been doing. Show your farrier how you've been trying to improve stuff. Show your dentist what you've done to work with it before you ask them to do it, because it just helps reassure them that you've actually done something. It gives them an idea of what they might be dealing with. And I think that's a kind of a really professional thing to do. Okay, we've done this, we've done that. You know, actually he's kind of good in this sense. And it gives that exposure. You're stimulating the neural pathways, and here comes the vet. She's hiding behind me. So I send her up the front. You go up the front, give him a treat. We used to dress all our vets at the donkey sanctuary in green. That was so that the donkeys could know they were vets and get them running before they... We've decided to change that they should be the same as the rest of us, and they can wear blue. That hides them a little bit more. The lovely thing about Joe, and unfortunately because the sound isn't working, there's a lovely part here while I'm working, and she says, sorry, taking all the time in the world, I'm not in a rush. And I think that's one of the, I'm really sorry you can't hear it because it's one of the most profound bits of this whole video. I'm not in a rush. Even if she was, she doesn't need the donkey to know that. My God, they're smiling and laughing. They're about to deal with a donkey that supposedly is so difficult to pick up his feet that he's going to have to be put to sleep because we can't take his sample out the sarcoid. What the hell are they doing laughing? Someone trapping behind a gate, for crying out loud. So now, see, I'm smart enough to know we're shaping behaviour. This is two people. This is an ambush. Before it was just me. So I'm going to pick up that feet while she's there. Okay, your turn. I don't have time for all this, Ben. We've taken 6 minutes, 11 seconds. I've got places to be. Oh, it's so beautiful. I want to cry. To put the foot down. She didn't hold on and go for it. She put it down, stepped away, took a breath. Oh, wow, I'm still alive. I haven't said Joe's one of the newer vets, one of the younger vets, and she's obviously been sent to do this by the older vets. They're like, okay, someone's going to get killed. Who should we volunteer? Oh no, let's send the new girl. You see the amount of positive reinforcement that's going on. This is just unconditional cuddling, treats, everything you want, counter conditioning. Make this as positive as you possibly can. Wow, 7 minutes, 13 seconds, we got all 4 feet up. You haven't treated the wound, come on with it, get on. It's kind of boring, isn't it? I might play it like 2 times speed or something. It's just nothing happens. So we had a little discussion about what she's like. She's like, well, I really need to probably cut a bit off, but I mean, you know, to take a sample, but you know, like if it's painful, he's going to kick when we do it, and maybe we should. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And I'm not listening to any of it, to be truthful. I'm like, really, yeah, okay. Well, why don't we just do it and see what happens? Be fine. So she wants to have a little look. We'll shape her behaviour. Okay, cool. Yeah, you have a little poke. I'll pick up the foot. You hide behind me. And you see actually how she's kind of just reassuring herself that this is going to be okay. And that's cool. Oh, bless him. Let's give him some more love. Because he hasn't had enough yet today. And she goes off to get all the stuff. So we get the groom in as well, just for fun. You ever go at this? Do we waste like another, you know. Are those twins? Nope. Nope. They're just painted to look like that. And I just want you to pick up on the body language. You know, if I just showed you this clip here, would you anticipate we're about to cut bits off a donkey's sarcoid leg? You know? You want to keep this as calm and as quiet and as matter of fact and as boring as you possibly can. And the one thing about this is about conditioning your brain to be about time. You know? Uh-oh. She's got gloves on. We know what that means. She's just telling me what she's going to try and do. She's going to do this and we're going to do that and we're going to cut a bit off and yeah, it'll be fine. It's all veterinary stuff. You'd appreciate it. I'm just a behaviourist. I'm a bit too simple for all that. Oh, donkey hair. Ah, jeez. I hate it when that happens, yeah? That's the thing. You get, we talked, there was a lot of talk by Leanne this morning about, you know, the donkey coat thing, and it's just like, what the? No. Yeah, they're really struggling with it. But you've got to say, you know, one of the things I would say, like when you're doing treatments, get those buddies, get the friends being there, you know, have the partner nearby. That is so important to help this guy feel confident. And what's interesting, we're all doing it, and these two aren't running away either. They're like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, okay. Hey, there's a veterinary. She's coming to get you. You know, if those two are comfortable with it and they can be running away, you know, my God, we've wasted 10 minutes and 19 seconds. I'm on the clock here, you know. Here comes the scalpel.
She's not going to touch the skin. Have a handle on the blade.
Pathologist, Sharon. That's
Yeah,
why
there
you
you
got
go.
to say it. That's why you got to say it.
I know.
No normal skin for reference.
No sympathy.
It's in the jar, 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Go, Joe. Go. Shit, missed it. Total time, including the previous session, I did 18 minutes. Don't tell me you haven't got time. And didn't he do well? Didn't Frank J. Eyre do amazingly? And you know what? He didn't have a sarcoid. He just had a lump. And that was the end of it. He didn't get to put to sleep with anything. And after all of that training, everybody started picking up his feet, and then he didn't stop being caught, and everything was fine. Yeah. You know, you can't desensitize an animal to pain. There's no way to do that, okay? But if you have them calm and relaxed when you put the needle in, they're going to react a lot less than if they're like, okay? And yeah, for sure, you put that needle in, they're going to jump a little bit. But pretty quickly, they're going to come back down again. And because they're not up at this threshold. When we just escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate, and they're up here, and then you put the needle in, it's just going to overflow. The point being that if you've got to do something painful, like get that needle in for the drugs, yeah, of course they're going to react. And I got dozens of videos doing the same thing. And I'll show you that will happen, that they will kind of react to that moment. And then you step back, and I'm sure Cindy would do a testament to this, is what happened. You know, you take your time and you get it right, and you put that needle in, and then you step back and they go, whoa, what the hell happened? I've been bitten. And then they come down again because they're not over that threshold. You take it and you do the drug, and it's fine. The key point is about spending all of that time getting to a point where they're actually calm enough and relaxed enough to give us a threshold between where they are and where they're going to explode. So that they don't go over the top in that emotion and end up doing everything and lashing out and doing all those sorts of things. Amy stood up. Must be time to stop.
Very good.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Frank.